This case happened on September 13, 1941 on the Karelian Isthmus of the Leningrad Front. At that time, because of the mistake, inexperience and, as everyone later recognized, stupidity of its commander, a colonel, a battalion of Marines lost most of its personnel. Finnish troops captured the town of Bilostrov on September 10, 1941. For the Soviet army created a dangerous bulge that threatened the entire line of defense. Therefore, it was necessary to restore the situation immediately. The town had to be torn out of the hands of the enemy. On September 13, at 6 o'clock in the morning, a separate special battalion of Marines, supported by artillery and other units of the Rifle Regiment, was thrown into the offensive. The Marine Battalion, formed as early as September 1 and occupying the defenses below the city, came here on September 9 and stood in the swamp. The men had no combat experience, and were on the offensive for the first time. By the stupidity of their commander, the sailors were thrown from a distance of 50 meters into a frontal attack across the swamp. Finnish soldiers occupied well-fortified positions in the city, including a powerful pillbox, a shell-proof fortress. Obeying the order, the brave men went fearlessly, at full height, across completely open ground to the enemy's machine guns, mortars and shells. Of course, they failed to take the city. The battalion's 2 forward companies suffered an almost catastrophic defeat. The 3rd Company, which supported the offensive, also suffered heavy losses, and thus the battalion lost almost half of its personnel. On the next day, September 14th, at the division command post some details of this battle became known, as well as the exploits of many sailors, as well as the battery commander of the artillery regiment, Lieutenant Lipkin, who, correcting the fire of the entire regiment, positioned with his forward observation post ahead of the infantry, 100 meters from the enemy. He was killed and remains there to this day. The battalion commander, a colonel, was removed from his post, demoted to private, and went on trial. And from the battlefield to the sanitary units located along the edge of the forest, and deeper in the rear, the wounded were coming in by ambulances in a continuous stream. The battalion would have suffered even greater losses had it not been for the remarkable behavior of its commissar. He began the day commanding a mortar company in place of a commander who had dropped out of action. In the heat of battle he assumed command of the battalion, managed to gather the confused, broken into small groups of survivors, and by the end of the day skillfully and coolly led them out of the battle. After that he was appointed battalion commander. Taking a new position, he managed to raise the spirit of the soldiers, unite them, and organize the battalion's combat activity in a new way. During the next 7 days the sailors brought the rest of their companies in order, trained the replenishment, and fought again. As a result, Alexei Ignatievich Trepelin turned the battalion into a tightly knit, well-coordinated organism, and for the next month of continuous fighting the battalion lost only 1 soldier killed and 3 soldiers wounded. One German general said, "I wish I had these striped tigers. With them and our equipment I could conquer the whole world in 2 weeks."